What's up, everybody? We alive. Yet another day above soil. I just figured I'd talk to y'all today outside. It's a lovely day outside. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. And I didn't want to be cooped up in my apartment for a real long time. So I'm just going to work on my clocks and talk to y'all today. And by the way, you could purchase one of my newspaper clocks on my Etsy page. That and my Instagram's going to be right below in the description. We're still on the road to 100 subscribers. If you like my content, hit that subscribe button. It's also going to be right down below. I want to talk about mental health, your mental health. Particularly, you got to know your worth. I'll start off with a little bit of an anecdote. Let's say that you have a grandfather or a patriarch within your family who is about to pass away. Now, this patriarchal figure within your life may wear a watch, or they might have some sort of clock that's in their pocket, like a pocket watch. You may decide to keep it, or you might decide to sell it. But this patriarchal figure within your life wants you to have that watch. So you receive it. What do you do with it? Do you keep it or do you sell it? Understandably, from personal reasons or personal stuff, I don't wear watches. It's a little bit more of a distraction. But if a patriarchal figure had given me a watch, I would most likely keep it. But there are some people out there who might end up selling the watch, probably because they're about to go and do something with their life and they need the money. So let's go back to the watch. Somebody might go to a pawn shop and they'll ask the person behind the counter, how much is this watch worth? How much are you going to give me for this watch? And then the person at the pawn shop be like, I'm going to give you $40 for this watch. $40? But sir, my grandfather paid about $500 for it. Yeah, but I also need to make money. It's $40, take it or leave it. So they're like, okay, I'll see you later. So you leave the pawn shop. Maybe a couple days later, you might go to a place over by a breakfast bodega and they're selling a lot of used things. So you go to the person behind the counter, you present them that watch. You say, okay, how much you gonna give me for this watch? I'll give you $5. And then you're like, the what? $5? But you know this is a Rolex, right? Yeah, but I'm gonna need to make money. $5, take it or leave it. And then you're probably going to walk out of that place real mad because you got this watch that's like a whole bunch of years old. $5? Nah, fam. So you walk out. But then you go to a museum about five weeks later. And then somebody in the museum would appraise the watch. They tell you the rich history behind it, the gears, what metal it's made out of, the serial number. And then at the end of the conversation, you would be like, okay, so what is this watch worth? And then the person within the museum would say, sir, this watch is well over $20,000. So to recap, you go to the pawn shop, the person in the pawn shop sells that watch for $40, or it gives you $40 for the watch. And then the person near the breakfast bodega gives you $5. And then the person at the museum says it's about $10,000 to $20,000. You got to know your worth. Sometimes people would see value in different kind of ways. So I'm going to put it in my perspective. A lot of times I would go to craft shows, both near my home and maybe close to Syracuse. I have made a little bit more money at craft shows that were further away from my place because the target audience is there. I mean, granted, I have made just a little bit of money at the craft shows that are close by, but it pales in comparison to that one craft show that I did. Know your worth. I'm going to use this clock for an example. So, New York State's minimum wage is $12.50. It cost about $2, maybe $3 in material to make this clock. And I'll probably be sitting here for 5 or so hours winding this newspaper up to make the face of the clock. And then the clock motor is worth about $10. So you do the math and you calculate all that kind of stuff. So once again, minimum wage in New York is $12.50. Multiply that by, I would say, 6. Clock motor's $10. Material is $3. How much do you think the clock is worth? Now, you could go to the Etsy page and see the price of the clock for your reference, because I'm nice like that. Back when George Floyd was a thing, and there was a lot of talk of Black Lives Matter, I followed suit and I made 3 clocks that centered around the theme of Black Lives Matter. Some people said that the clocks that I was making were $30 each. But then one of my students that I was working with saw the same clock and said, "Whoa, why is it only $30? This should be worth $100. A person's perception of value changes during the course of time, and some people see value in other things that a person might not see. I was at a bowling alley one day, and I was crocheting this bag. Somebody came to me and said, "Ooh, how much is this bag worth?" So I told them the price, and they were like, "Ah, this bag is so expensive." But it took me a long time to make that bag. Yeah, the person may think that it's expensive. Maybe it's because they're not within my target audience. I gotta know my worth. Some people may think this bag is not worth $80. But then there's other people who would think that it's worth $300. They may see more worth in your product. Know your worth. In all honesty, life is way too short to just settle. Some people be working really ridiculously hard, and they don't reward themselves with enough pay. Well, I got news for you. What's gonna happen when it's your time to go and you really haven't lived your life? That'd be kind of sad if you just settled. So, ladies and gentlemen, with all things put into consideration, you're gonna have to know your worth, because you were put on this earth for a specific reason. You may not know it today, you may not know it tomorrow, you may not know it within 10 years, but there is a reason for why you're here, and it's worthwhile for you to see value within yourself. There's a lot of things within our society that discriminate. Death, however, does not discriminate. I want to thank y'all once again for watching my content. If this is your first, second, third, or whatever time watching, hit that subscribe button. It's right down below. I'm also going to put the links to my Etsy and Instagram right within the description. I leave you all with much love, good spirits, and vibes. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. I'm out.